Hello everybody and welcome to another bonus episode of Let's Play Fire Emblem 7 The Blazing Sword. In today's episode we're going to be covering the mind glitch and a little bit thing known as the Uber Spear. Now what the Uber Spear actually is, it's an enhanced weapon. Usually with bosses have a stat increase, which is usually divided into three things. Usually it's because they're an enemy unit. It's also because they're usually on a fortress, and it's also partially their weapons that are somewhat enhanced. Now the reason why the Spear of Veda is actually so special. Oh wait, I need to explain the mine. You need to place a mine in a spot you know for sure that the enemy will hit, and I know for sure that the Wyvern General, Wyvern Rider will probably attack Lucius, because Lucius not only is a weaker character, but it also doesn't have any weapons, so he cannot even fight back. So, and what we'll do after the Wyvern lands there is what we need to do is something called a soft reset, which is AB start select once the mine triggers. Now I completely forgot what I was just talking about, but the reason why the weapon of Veda is so special is because she only has two things that can possibly increase her stats, which is of course her weapon and herself, her enemy status. So that's why it's not usually done by one thing, and because Veda is actually pretty strong, or her weapon is actually pretty strong, it's kinda known for its strength in the Fire Emblem community. Now I have to wait until it triggers. There we go. Now soft reset, and once we resume, you will get the animation again. Also, you've noticed that all the enemies now have stopped moving. Why is that, you ask? Well, actually it is very simple. What the mind glitch does is for one turn get you in control of the enemy's turn. Now what we need to do in order to get the Uberland is quite simple. Normally this idiot here would drop the Luna, but what we need to do is just trade, and then we get the spear. Now he will drop the spear. This is the only way to get the spear. You cannot get the spear by stealing from her, because you cannot steal weapons, you can only steal items. And you can, if you want to make it simpler for yourself, you can also discard all the weapons that they might have. Now enemies cannot trade back. Their AI doesn't cover that. Simply with rescue, the same thing with rescue. The AI will not, the enemies will never rescue someone. But I'm going to make him rescue someone just because it's funny. But yeah, the AI will normally never rescue anyone. You can make them rescue themselves, which is also funny, but normally, you know, it doesn't do much. So as I said, the Uberlance is known for its usefulness. However, the lance is a weapon that has only a limited amount of use. But there is also a way around that, you know, around the limited amounts of use. You can use something called a hammer and staff to completely rejuvenate a weapon, which it's not something that I normally use in a normal playthrough, because it's not really necessary, in my opinion. You can get weapons if you just play through, you can just get normal weapons. And if you don't really abuse the special weapons that the lords have, like the rapier and such, you would still have them at this point. I still have them at this point. And I'll probably still have them in the end of the game, but then I will probably replace them by the weapons that they get. So yeah, and, that is basically everything that we need to do. I will let Lucius die just in this episode. Not in this episode actually, but in this chapter. Just to see if I can get a special chapter which is going to come up actually pretty soon. But yeah. There the enemies move, and once I get the Uber Spear, I'll probably end it off, or I will give it to someone to just test it out on Veda. You can see how much more damage it actually does than regularly. Speak English today, Vision. Speak English. I tried to record this as well yesterday, but I wasn't feeling up to it as much, you know, not very recalling like. So let's deal it with Lynn. Lynn has the Ryan's belt, which I'm not going to use. I can probably sell it. Let's just send the Ryan's belt. And there, now we have the spear, or the Uber Spear, as it's called. And you may have seen what it was, how many stats it had. You can't really show it right here, but once I reached it, you could have shown it. You could have seen it a little bit at least. So let Lucius be killed. Lord Raymond, baby, the future may be bright. I don't know who voiced Lucius. I think it was my sister, but I don't really care. Also, Veda will not be voiced in today's episode. Because I don't have any voice actors for these bonus episodes. Except maybe for one. I'm trying to get a voice actor, but it's hard because I actually want I want someone special, basically, for the last voice actor of Fire Emblem. Maybe I can a little bit reveal that I know someone who knew someone very special in the Fire Emblem community, but the girl told me that the guy I'm talking about is not very cooperative, not very pleasant to work with. And if you know who I'm talking about, you probably also know why I say such things. Why would you know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's not like there are many people here in the Fire Emblem community. I'm not. It's actually a bit surprising. Actually, I'm not in any Fire Emblem community, even though I'm playing Fire Emblem, and I know Fire Emblem pretty well. At least this game I know pretty well. And Sacred Stones, of course, I know as the back of my hand as well. Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn I do not know as well, but I have finished them. It was much harder in this game, actually. It was pretty hard. Anyways, that's it for today's episode. I can test the lance and then I will end it off. As you can see, it does 24 damage. Well, normal weapon does 2 or 5 damage. So it does excessively amounts more damage than usual weapons. And no, I'm not going to voice Veda. And this is the end of the episode. Goodbye. See you then.